What's up, Nerdmigos? I'm talking Nerd John
We don't know.
Norgrove. We've got Wife here, and clearly I'm going insane. Man, I'm at like the very top of this scene. Let's do this live and in Technicolor.
Oh boy, what are you doing?
Just that. Just cranking it up a little bit. Look at that. Now my head's not pointing out at the top of the screen, probably.
But it's like, it's so light up here, and it's like
Maybe
so
my head-
unsaturated
maybe my head-
that it makes it look like your head is literally in the clouds. Like, you know when you see
We're
sci-fi
gonna talk like
pictures
that. No, we're not gonna do that.
of future cities where the skyscrapers are super tall, and it's like all misty and
What's
hazy
up?
at the top.
I just got called a future city. America.
Man.
So, yeah, we already did the thing. I already said the stuff.
So-
Today we are reviewing Iron Sky 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah.
Or maybe actually the third movie in this, because it's not called Iron Sky 2, but it's the second
It
one.
wasn't 2. It was Iron Sky.
Iron Sky, The Coming Race.
The Coming Race.
Yeah, because the two dots. That's the
Yeah,
sound you make for
that's,
that. I don't remember who told me that online.
I think
but
that's Yahtzee.
Is that Yahtzee Croshaw? That might be Yahtzee Croshaw.
What channel is he?
Escapist is the channel, and his videos are... I don't remember what they're called.
We like to
Off the
watch
top of
his
my head.
video game shows. It's awesome.
He does like video game reviews in like the most angry way humanly possible. It's the best. It's the best.
So good.
Anyway, we watched Iron Sky, The Coming Race,
And boy, let me tell you, I did not think this morning.
on Netflix.
Yeah.
We got it on Netflix.
On Netflix.
So it's available everywhere.
But anyway,
we were not prepared for
I was
what we were
not
going to watch this
prepared
morning.
to tell
well,
you
we watched
that
this later in the day.
that today I watched a movie that had Hitler riding a T-Rex.
Technically wrong. Lizard Hitler riding a
Oh,
T-Rex.
you're right. He was a lizard person. Totally forgot about that.
Lizard Hitler.
Whew, did you think
Different-
today you were going to hear us say
Different
lizard
person
Hitler riding
than
a
the
T-Rex?
main actor from the first movie. Same person. Same actor. Different character than the main Hitler in the
previous
first movie,
yeah.
who is also in this movie, who is called the Moon Fuhrer, who is not Hitler, but looks a lot like Hitler. He is played by the ever fantastic Udo Kier, who, no, yes.
No? Yes? Yes, no?
Yes, Udo Kier. All of these people's names are exactly insane enough that I wasn't certain which line was their name in the show and which line was their name in real life.
Oh, geez.
So, yeah, that's... Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Anywho,
So
played by Udo Kier, who crushes it, because he technically plays two roles in this,
Yeah.
and he has, like, action set pieces and
Yeah.
shit.
It's really good.
He's maybe one of my favorite actors in this, like, absurd genre of stuff. He's so good.
He does show up a lot in these, and I love him in everything that he's in. He's fantastic. And he's also usually a bad guy, but I'm totally okay with that because he's fantastic.
He's the best bad guy.
Yeah.
He's the best bad guy.
So this movie takes place in the future.
Like in
2047,
40 something?
I think it
2047?
said.
Yeah, okay.
And
It doesn't say on here.
the Earth's surface is uninhabitable
Because
as a
of the
result
nuclear
of
war.
the first movie.
Yeah.
And so humanity's last hope lives in the like decommissioned Nazi base in the moon.
Mostly blown up and destroyed Nazi base on the
Yeah,
moon,
yeah.
and they're like, don't have enough supplies, and only the main character, who is the daughter between the black guy, the black U.S. soldier, and the white Nazi lady in
Yeah.
the first movie, so they have a kid,
Yeah.
he's gone, she's mayor of fucking Moon Nazi town, last vestiges of humanity alive. There's like I think at one point in time they say there's like 2,000 people, and I'm like, I seem to remember hearing that we needed more people than that, even if perfectly selected for like
No, I
the
think
right
that
kind
you
of
need-
genetic
No, I think you need
mesh.
like 700 people.
Nah, I think it's like way higher.
They talk about it in a book that we read, Seven Eves. And
Yeah, I get the
wanna
strong
say
feeling that was
that's-
wrong, though.
Well, I don't
If
know.
you know how many necessary humans it takes to repopulate the planet, let us know below.
I hope someone knows.
Yeah. So
Because
do I,
I
because I
don't.
don't. Yeah. It's not important. Anywho, so, everybody's fantastic. This movie's fantastic. Do yourself a favor and go watch this movie. We
Yeah,
are going to talk
seriously,
about it.
go watch this movie.
Go
It
watch
was
this
so
fucking movie.
good.
If you love Nazis getting punched and jokes and dinosaurs and technically lizard people, but they act like mole people.
Lizard people, guys. Also, Sarah Palin is the president.
Well, Sarah Palin was the president in the first movie, but she's still the president.
And we learned that she is a lizard person along with many other
in this
leaders.
movie.
It's so good.
It's so fucking funny. So basically, right? So I'm just gonna run through the plot real quick, all right? So this is the daughter's story. The mom is like she's not a bitch, but she's just like, I care about these people. We can't do anything. And the daughter's like, I'm the only person keeping this place alive. You gotta listen to me. I'm gonna do all kind of rash and absurd shit. And then they're like having their little back and forth, and then an airplane.
A UFO.
A UFO.
Because we're on the moon.
It's shaped like a UFO. I think it's based on the tanks from the first movie. I believe that was the German moon Nazi tanks from the first movie. Recommissioned.
Maybe.
Comes fucking screaming in, right? And they're just like, we're gonna shoot it out of the sky. And she's like, no, don't do that. And she runs down the hallway and like just flicks, she like unscrews a panel and opens it up and then like does a thing and then flicks a switch and they lose power in the control room, which I feel like is one of the switches should be locked behind a key or something.
Yeah. Also, guys, let's just mention this is on a moon base, so
this is on a moon
losing
base.
Power is real bad.
Yeah, and like they never address the gravity thing. There's a lot of things that aren't addressed. You don't go into a Nazi moon movie expecting scientific accuracy. So, we're just gonna get that out of the way right away.
Yeah.
So she's like, no, I can save them. So she turns off power for them, and then she runs into the thing, and then she puts on the bay doors are opening, or whatever. The bay doors are opening, and like the door is slowly coming down, right? Because they're about ready to depressurize the bay, so that way the ship that's coming from who knows where, the UFO can land, right? And so she like puts on an air mask and slides underneath the door, and is apparently not sensitive to pressure or temperature, and then goes into a crane. Then the UFO lands, like crash lands, and then the landing pad it landed on falls. In this like big tunnel space, but she catches it with a claw on the end of this.
Yeah, she basically claw games.
Yeah, she brings the thing over, and then as it falls, she goes drops the claw and
grabs it, and then drags it back on
and puts it down. So
and then goes down there and is like, "Who the fuck is this?"
She's like, "What the fuck?"
They're
and
like, "You base who this?"
To the Russians. The Russians are like 12 Russian people. There's only one of them that we actually even meet. So technically, one Russian person that matters. And they're like, yeah, like we escaped. And she, and of course the mom's like, we can't feed you here. You guys are gonna have to go where you came from. And the guy's like, the Earth is full of radiation, nuclear devastation.
We can't live on
That's
Earth
not how
anymore.
This is working. And the mom's like, I guess, I don't know, suck some dicks. And they got, of course, they are living with the Nazis now, because there were still like Nazi soldiers on the base. They're all still dressed like Nazi soldiers.
So everyone is cohabitating.
So they're all like standing there with guns and like Nazis, and the mom's like old and like worn out looking, and it's like the weirdest makeup on this lady.
It's really
and
weird.
Just the dumbest
and
wigs. Every wig she has on is dumb.
And like not good wiggery.
Oh, it's not good. None of it's good. But
that's
it's
not
fine.
A word.
Wiggery is.
Yeah, but that's not the word for what I'm talking about. I'm gonna go with that's not a word. Go on.
Wig stuff. But so she's like I'm gonna talk sci-fi engine, just fucking nonsense with this guy. Blah 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 blah.
Immediately.
And
so
this guy
UFO
is
comes
Russian.
in.
He is like Saturday Night Live during the Cold War jokes. Russian.
Yeah.
He is like all the way over here Russian,
super racist.
Outside of frame, just ridiculous levels of Russian for really arguably no reason. But then again, the Nazis are ridiculous levels of Nazis, and let's be honest, this movie is fucking absurd from top to bottom.
Yeah.
So
we get introduced to him, and then we also get introduced to a cult that are the Jobians, the Jobs people, and they worship Steve Jobs and Apple and everything, and they all dress in white, only white, and like it looks like their hair is preferred to be white, and they all have these phones, and they can't be jailbroken, otherwise that like terminates the user license agreement,
and they just
which is what they're
up.
Using as a religious text is the EULA.
Yeah,
it's
amazing.
Hilarious.
It's amazing.
So by silly plot mechanics, we have the Jobians, the girl, the Russian, and then a guy who's a soldier from the base who's super macho and can do everything.
Yeah.
And he's like
fucking Boom. He's just like rah, rah. He's like the buffest guy of all time.
And the girl, she's like
the dynamic on
like
this
maybe
base.
She's into maybe she's into him, but he's like super pretty. It's very.
The mom is certainly into the girl being into him, and the girl is not. Because at one point in time, she like breaks into the Jobian's temple or whatever the fuck, right? And it's just everything's so dramatic. She like throws a wrench at the glass, and then walks through raining glass.
Yeah,
you know, and
it's
of course
not a
like
wrench, it was a sledge.
Like the sledge, whatever, and like the Steve Jobs like church leader. You don't know how much those doors cost, but like doing his fucking thing, and she just like ignores him, and she's talking to the mom, and the mom's like, I mean, maybe you get a boyfriend. I don't know. Like you're in your 20s or 30s or however fucking old you are, because none of this shit's addressed, and time makes no fucking sense in this series.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? And she's like, maybe you get a boyfriend or whatever. Like, what about Matt from from accounting?
And she's
kind
like,
of a thing.
Mom!
Yeah, and she's like, I'm not interested in that shit. Like, I don't need no fucking man.
But she's
not like preachy. Like, I don't need no man. She's just like, yeah, I'm not. No, I got other shit to deal with. I'm the only motherfucker who knows how to fix this shit.
She's like, Mom, stop. But she's like friends with this dude, clearly.
Yeah,
and
they're like
fine.
homies from being kids because they grew up on a moon base together.
The entire movie, the buff dude from the space station and the Russian dude are playing like one-upmanship on each other. It is very like Chris Pratt plus Thor in Avengers when they're like on the spaceship and doing their thing. It is so funny to watch them both sort of fight over this girl the whole time, and at the end you find out what happens, and I don't want to spoil it.
We're not going to spoil that. We're not getting there. The end is fantastic.
So by bizarre plot twists, they end up having to go back to Earth.
So come to find out, some shit from the first movie didn't happen. That went down the way we thought it went down.
Yeah.
All right. And so they need to go back to Earth. They need to go back to Earth, to the hollow center of the Earth.
Because the Earth is hollow, guys.
Where these mutating lizard people...
It's not just round. It's hollow.
Yeah,
it's not
so
flat.
it's still a sphere.
It's
Flat Earthers
hollow.
are wrong. You're wrong.
Flat Earthers always wrong.
Do a little bit of math. It's super fucking easy. Come on, get your life together. Jesus. But so they have to go in to the hollow core of the Earth through a tunnel in Antarctica to invade these lizard people's area, so that way they could steal the Holy Grail. It's literally a cup that's full of some sort of life energy or some nonsensical term like that. All right, so that way she can power her spaceship, so that way they can fly off into the sunset, because the moon base is failing.
Yeah,
also,
because they blew like a big hole in the moon, and the moon's like starting to have quakes.
Moonquakes? I don't know that
falling
moonquakes
apart.
are a thing that exists.
I don't know that that's a thing that exists either.
I'm pretty sure the moon is like hyper dead, but I mean, like, whatever. Maybe it's that the moon is cracking apart, and that's what they're trying to explain.
What I assume.
Yeah, that makes some sense.
So they all have to. Everybody has to get yeeted off that moon is basically the idea behind it. So they have to get in this like rickety UFO that the Russian dude brought back, and then they get to Earth, and then miraculously they land on top of the hole.
Yeah, they land.
And then they go through the hole. So it's a little
they crash,
like... Yeah, they crash.
And then the hole opens up, and then they crash further through a tunnel.
Yeah. And let me tell you, this whole segment here
more.
was a much more satisfying experience than the movie The Core.
It's true.
So
the whole movie, that sequence, whole movie.
Yeah, so they land in the center of the Earth, and it's like prehistoric times. For X-Men fans, you guys remember Savage Land? Savage Land, but with
For regular
Nazis.
people, dinosaurs.
Yeah. And lizard people. It's a little like also
there's no
Super
such
Mario.
like Jurassic, Triassic. There's none of that.
None of that.
There's none of that shit. You got Triceratops and Velociraptors and Brontosauruses and T-Rexes and shit.
None of the
it makes any
timelines
fucking
make sense.
Yeah, right. And of course they're using like your standard lizard dinosaur thing, even though this movie came out like 2019 and we like by then we knew that dinosaurs had feathers.
Oh, yeah.
So this is the thing. A lot of the shit in the movie is absurd. But to be honest with you, the CGI and practical effects in the movie
are
fantastic.
Like
really good. And I mean like nearly Marvel level good. Like right on the edge of like in-game good, which is absurd.
Yeah.
How good the CGI is. I honestly think most of the reason why is because they used a lot of practical effects.
Yeah, I think so.
I feel like it was a lot of practical effects and miniatures being shot and people on green screens and whatever the fuck they were using for their green screen tech was like amazing.
Super good.
Because there's only a couple of scenes where it's like super obviously a green screen, and those scenes are kind of like forgivably like, yeah, of course it's a green screen. I don't think there's a place in the U.S. or in the world where you can shoot underground with the sun in the sky, powered by like a tube of light,
a tube of
and
light,
there's like dinosaurs
but like straight up
meandering,
above you,
and it's just, none of it makes any
like
fucking sense.
More Earth, so it's also like, and if any of you have read the Death Gate
like
cycle,
curves.
the second book takes place on
like a ring, like Ringu, but not a horror movie. Like the space station.
I'm gonna say not like
Ring Ship. Ring World. Never mind. It's fine.
Okay.
So anyway, so they get there, and of course the Jobbists tagged along, and then of course the Jobbists get caught up in stupid religious stuff because they find Steve Jobs, who is
a lizard
like,
person,
maybe a little
Surprise!
special needsy lizard person, but he's down there, and so they get captured, and I'm sorry, this whole time they keep getting into like. So the buff guy, right, the buff German ex-Nazi guy, he is the one who is like, oh, there's something over there, and he's like, I'll go investigate it, and like goes in there, and then you hear a bunch of like scrabbling and stuff, and then he comes back with like a fucking saber-toothed tiger tooth that's like this long, and he's just like, you won't believe it, I had this guy and I had to punch him, and I'm doing all this, and I'm doing this, and I'm dropping elbows and shit,
and he's like, I got him, and he holds up the tooth,
and they're like, oh, that's good, and he's like, but we should get the fuck out of here, there were like a lot more over there.
At every turn, this guy ends up
just
fighting
being like the badass.
He's just like
he's just fighting
badass.
whatever absurd shit you can imagine. On the other half, right, for every scene that he gets where he's being a badass, you have the Russian guy who is like they're bickering like husband and wife.
Oh my gosh, it's so cute.
And
you
the
see
main
the Russian
character.
guy, and he gets like kind of pouty. Like, this guy showed me up.
Well, and he's like, oh, is that how you look at map? Is this what we're doing? And he's like, he's just like, we're inside the thing. You flip the cell phone around. You don't know nothing. And he's like walking away, trying to be like cool for being knowledgeable and whatever. And like the chick's just like.
The chick is just like totally
Fine.
oblivious
But she
to these
doesn't
guys
get any of these
like
advances,
acting this way
right?
about
and it's
her.
hilarious.
It is,
and of course,
so funny.
The German guy is just like doing his job as a like cop person because he's like a cop or security guard or whatever.
Yeah,
he's like a
something like
Nazi.
that, yeah.
And like the Russian guy's just some engineer, right? And he's doing like his engineer thing, and they're both clearly like, at least like like doing like alpha male dominant like hitting on a chick kind of shit. And the German is just doing dope shit. And the main character, the chick, she is just trying to save the world. And the Russian guy is the only one of the three of them who is like actively aware that they are competing to hit on this girl.
Yeah.
And he is super upset because he's like, the guy's like this like fucking beautiful like buff man who's like taking on Sabretooths. At one point in time, they're trying to escape. They get cornered by some lizard person soldiers with pet velociraptors all down here.
And
whatnot.
they sick the velociraptors on
And they're
him.
like, let him go to attack him, and they're like trying to escape up the wall, and this guy's like, run. I'll give you time. And he's like fighting velociraptors.
3 velociraptors at one time.
He's just like punching them in the head, and like they're like biting at him, and he's just like fucking getting them and shit.
Yeah.
It's so
Somehow
funny.
a man who's lived his entire life on the moon knew exactly how to fight velociraptors.
Read a book, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Is it that Sheldon from Big Bang Theory thing? Like, as long as you read a book, you'll know how to swim. You don't need to practice in water. Like, he read a book about velociraptors, and he's like, I don't need to see one. I know how to defeat one if I have to. Which I guess is maybe a thing you have to deal with Nazis.
I mean, maybe they had a course that we're not really aware
he
of.
gets captured, and of course the Jobbists got captured, and then like, they get gathered together in like the council chamber or whatever, and then like Lizard Hitler arrives. Like, big reveal, Lizard Hitler. Right? They're just like, ah! And of course, the Jobbist is trying to like negotiate with Steve Jobs, and then trying to negotiate with Lizard Hitler, and you get the whole movie. There are these fucking fantastic lines delivered, especially by the buff German Nazi guy. Because like at one point in time, he's like, oh, you just got to sign up for the end user agreement. You got to like do the thing, and Hitler's like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll do that, and he like accepts the user agreement, and he's like, I got you, like I'll give you access to all the stuff, and like I'll betray my people, but like, or I'll betray all the humans, but like you got to bring my people down here so we can live happily ever after in your inside of the Earth Dinosaurtopia place.
Yeah,
and then of course. Like, the German guy's just like, what are you doing? Like, Hitler isn't known for keeping his promises.
Do you remember Czechoslovakia?
Do you remember Czechoslovakia? And he's like tied up on the ground, like delivering this line with perfect comedic timing.
Yeah.
It's so fucking great, dude.
It's so good.
And then,
you know what, though? That guy would probably work as the next James Bond.
That guy, oh my god, yeah.
He would be a better James Bond than Daniel Craig.
He's like too buff. He's not suave enough for James Bond.
I think they could swap him up.
I'll tell you what, though. That motherfucker deserves a goddamn Marvel role. Put him in a put him in a superhero movie.
Yeah,
put him in like a dope superhero movie because he's got the physique, he has the timing. He could easily do like a fun, buff, sort of like violent action guy.
Yeah.
Sort of hero. So. Mm-hmm. Oh my god,
totally
he was fantastic. But so either way, all the job is skit he escapes and beats up Steve Jobs and then runs away and meets up with them, and while the girl and the Russian sneak into the like mysterious temple and collect the chalice at the top of the tower, and it's the whole Indiana Jones thing, right?
Yeah.
Where she's just like, how heavy is this cup? And he's like, oh, if I'm looking at this instructions written in a funny language, it's like 1,000 grams. Or maybe ounces. I don't remember which. I don't know which conversion it is, And she's like, all right, I got this. And she like pulls out like a wrench and a hammer and like, boop. But it's not like, how Indy was like, bah.
Yeah.
Like real, she's like.
Yeah.
Okay, we can climb down now. And you're just like, what the fuck was that?
Well, it was like comedically long.
It was the least smooth. It was so fucking funny, right? And so she climbs down, and of course, like the chalice had a beam of light holding up a star or something in the middle of this Earth. So she takes the chalice and she puts the things back. The star still fell.
Yeah.
So I guess that didn't work. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
And so they're
they thought it was gonna save the Earth.
Yeah.
Is the thing so that they could go.
So she grabs the chalice and she's like escaping or whatever, right? And they like run out and she's like, we got to escape. And so she jumps onto a chariot pulled by a triceratops. And the guy's like, do you know how to ride a chariot? And she's like, I'll figure it out. And then begins chariot pursuit scene.
We got a car chase
she
with a
is
chariot.
being chased by a chariot. The Russian guy's in a chariot and he saves the German guy.
Yeah.
And they're being chased by a priest, and like a priest guy and a Muslim guy who they don't really give them names. And they're being chased by.
But it's clear that they're like.
It's supposed to be like some sort of like the Pope and whatever some like Middle Eastern country world leader, but there's some of the world leaders are very obvious and they give them names, and some of the world leaders are not very obvious and they don't give them names and they're just going off the shtick. So those two really don't get enough like back and forth for you to figure out exactly who they are. I don't know if they're just religious leaders or if they're like governmental figureheads also. Yeah. And then the last chariot's being pulled by the lady Prime Minister of England.
Yes, it was Margaret Thatcher. That it was being pulled by.
It was like pretend lizard person Margaret Thatcher.
Yeah.
So they're being chased.
Might I add
also, while this is happening, the Indiana Jones slow rolling ball of doom is coming, but instead of a rock in a tunnel, it's a star with dinosaurs.
Yeah, and they are riding chariots where the like spot that you stand in the chariot.
Oh, it's like a chest?
skull.
It's like a chest or a skull or some
it's a
shit.
Because it had teeth. You don't have teeth in your chest.
Maybe you don't have teeth in your chest.
Okay. All right.
Secret tooth chest people. What's up?
Turns out he was a tooth chestian. I didn't know.
I don't like that name, tooth chestian.
You did this to you.
It's racist.
You did this to you.
It's racist against toothly chested people.
Gross.
Dentally chest people.
No. Gross. The chariots are skulls, and you can see their little teeth.
I thought they were rib cages or something. I never caught that.
There were definitely teeth.
Oh, also, about 8 minutes into this movie, we came to the realization that you needed to see this movie about 3 times for you to get everything that's going on in it.
Yeah.
And I don't mean like the plot
There's a lot
is
of
fucking
little
complicated.
extra stuff
There's just
in there
so
too.
much background joke. Like little shit in the background that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Right? So anyway, a chase scene, of course, the main characters, they escape. At one point in time, you get to see a Triceratops pulling a skull chariot jump over a chasm.
It made a sweet jump, guys.
Which, whatever, I guess that's a thing. And then they make it to their ship and they escape and they go back to the moon.
Yeah.
But then also...
Well, they go back to the moon so they can pick everybody up.
And escape in their ship.
Escape to
Lizard
Mars.
Hitler shows up on his ship to kill them. And you get the, like, Darth Vader, Jurassic Park, like, there's doors closed that are, like, heavy. And there's like a bang, and the doors start bending open, and then like the doors get thrown open, and like a T-Rex like ducks underneath the doors and sounds more like a lion or a tiger growl than anything else.
It sounds a lot like a lion.
It's not great
Yeah.
growl, but like makes a growl noise, and then like turns. Lizard Hitler
on there.
So it's like Lizard Hitler
This
with
T-Rex is
with a
fitted
gun,
with like a
with like
muzzle
a T-Rex
and like a saddle,
and it's just like,
everything.
yeah, and he's just like dang dang, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Like
so then our
fuck
heroes
humans.
have to fight Lizard Hitler.
And he's just like throwing
on a T-Rex.
He's just throwing people. The T-Rex is just stomping on people and like picking them up and throwing them with his little mouth and shit. It's fucking amazing.
And by little mouth, we mean huge mouth.
It's so
right?
good. He
'Cause it's a
murders so
T-Rex.
many fucking people.
And it's only little because it's on our TV,
Yeah.
so it's like 4 inches.
It's a tiny T-Rex.
You know.
They're all tiny in the TV. So then the mom, I don't know, does some more of whatever this silly life drug is that they're stealing that can restore your youth eternal, but also power a starship. Or fucking
We don't
whatever.
really know.
Her version of it is stored inside of chocolates that she took from
the Moon Fury.
Moon Fury.
Yeah.
Oof, boy. Man, saying all of this stuff out loud makes it sound more insane.
Sure does.
But, so she takes a chocolate and it fuels her up, juices her up with the power. And then she, running fly kicks this T-Rex in the mouth and kills it immediately. And then so it gets like hit.
was so-
it's so absurd.
It was so anticlimactic.
It's just like boom, and it's just
It
like
was so anticlimactic.
And it goes down, and
it
then
was like
Hitler-
Obi-Wan when he dies. You're just like, oh, he's this like super badass thing, and he just, oh,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay, all
I
right.
mean, Obi-Wan died for a purpose, though. This dinosaur died because
This dinosaur did die for a
dumbness.
purpose. It died for the purpose of the plot.
that's fair. Giant eagles. So
Yeah,
she had that
giant eagles.
superpower all along, and then it jump cuts to she kicks it and it goes down, and then Lizard Hitler is just like fucking humans, bang 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 bang, trying to shoot around, and then in like the greatest jump, like really it was a jump scare, right? But
Yeah.
not like jump scare. He's like fuck you humans, bang bang bang, and like the music's all kind of crescendoed, and then just like a giant like refrigerator unit or some sort of like
There's
HVAC
a
system
lot of
just goes like
people
bam,
that just get smashed
get
with
fucking
stuff
splattered.
from like really high up, and there's not like a gore or anything. They just get smushed.
Yeah, they just get like smushed.
pancakeified.
And then like whatever. So it goes to the girl and the Russian and the German. And she like she's like the German or the Russian guy's like give me the thing, I'll like install it in the engine and we'll get us going, like you deal with the people. And she's like and he's like, you can trust me, it's fine. And we are both like, if this motherfucker, if this
If
soul
he is
bitch,
untrustworthy,
if this
we are
GD
gonna lose our mind.
this asshat. Like the whole time we're just like this fuck, and because she's just like I don't know, and he's like no, you can trust
So
me.
then
fine.
he goes
Then
up
grabs
to the
it.
ship.
Then he goes
He
to the ship.
opens a panel of the ship.
He opens up a panel
He
on
puts the
one of the
goblet in.
engines, puts the goblet in,
Duct
tapes
it.
it down, and then takes
And
two
then-
wires
and
and
then
puts
puts
them in the
them in the
goblet,
cup.
and that powers the whole ship.
The whole ship. The ship
So-
is huge, guys.
It wasn't even like well duct taped. It was like one big piece, just sort of like loosely around a hot
Yeah.
engine-y tube thing. Oh boy.
Yeah.
No sense.
And then they
escape.
They get in the thing. They escape.
They escape. And
So they're escaping off of the moon at this point. Yeah.
And
so
they're
escaping
heading
off the moon, and they're escaping off the moon because Earth is fucked.
Yeah.
Moon is fucked.
Earth is radiated and no longer has a core in the center.
So the next place that you can go to is Mars. So they are on their way to Mars.
They're escaping to Mars. And there's some twists at the end there that we're not gonna spoil here. So
but they
go see
do
this fucking
leave
movie.
it open for a third movie or another movie.
This movie came out in 2019. Yeah. So they better be making a fucking third one.
Yeah,
That's
I
all
sure
I have
hope
to
so.
say.
It was fantastic. We watched a lot of Nazis get punched. That was wonderful.
Yep.
We
Buff
watched
Nazis.
a lot of lizard people get murderized. That was also great.
About halfway through the movie, we came to this realization that there are two facts. The recording stopped, and now it's back, so we're back on. I forgot what was happening there.
Someday we'll get that fixed.
I don't actually think that we can. That has something to do with either the card or the camera. It doesn't really matter.
I have no idea.
Yeah. Who fucking cares? Either way, so at a certain point in time in this movie, we came to the realization that there are two factions, right? The main character is without faction, and there are two factions on this base, right? There are the Jobians, which are like fancy rich people, and they wear all white, and they got Apple products.
Yeah.
And then there are the Nazi soldiers, who are just like Nazi soldiers. And then, of course, there's like a bunch of poor people who are like sick and dying.
So that would be
are like
three
No, that's not a
factions?
faction, because they don't do anything like...
Yeah, but they still exist.
No, but a faction would have some degree of like desire for power or actively participating in their own survival.
necessarily.
Because at multiple times you see some shit happening, and these people are just like, "Oh, I'm just gonna squat down here and wait until the moonquake crushes us to death, or we suffer from oxygen deprivation, until that black lady fixes it for us." Like moms and kids and shit.
Yeah.
They're the like survivors that we're supposed to care about, but none of them get any fucking time on screen other than to like do useless shit.
They're really just sort of like faceless masses at this point.
They're just like background fodder because we don't care about them, and they don't do anything, and they don't have opinions about anything or really participate in anything other than like standing there or moving around or getting pushed out of the way while our main characters run through scenes. But so you got your two factions, your Jobians, your Steve Jobs Apple people, and your Nazis. And I'm gonna be honest with you, Nazis weren't the bad guys in this one. It was the Steve Jobs Apple people.
That's not to say the Nazis are the good guys.
Oh no, they're bad guys.
Because they're definitely bad guys.
These Nazis are from a future where they used to be Nazis, but they're no longer Nazis. Also, that guy, the buff German, would have to be the same age as the main character, Black Lady.
Yeah.
So, and she was born after the Nazis fell. So this dude's like a cop in a Nazi uniform.
Yeah.
But is definitely not a Nazi.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, so he's best friends with like a black chick.
I just had to throw that out there.
Oh, no. Nazis are bad people.
Nazis are bad.
A lot of Nazis are getting punched in this.
Don't
worry. You're going to get your Nazi...
stuff out of context.
You're going to get your Nazi punch ready to rock and roll.
Don't take stuff out of context, guys.
Don't do it.
These Nazis, they're bad.
They're bad people.
Yeah.
But they're very bad people. It's funny that the Jobians are like the more evil people. You know?
It is.
That they really make that like iPhone people are basically modern Nazis is like the thing that they're trying to do there.
It was
real
like
quickly
a shots fired moment.
before we get done with this, I just wanted to go over the actors in this. So Laura Rossi plays, her name is Obi Washington, by the way. Which is hilarious.
Yeah. I thought you caught that when
it's hilarious. They just don't know her name. We haven't said it out loud yet. Yeah.
Maybe they do. Maybe they've already seen this.
Don't know too much. So that's played by Laura Rossi. She crushes it. Ubo Kier plays Moon Fuhrer and Lizard Hitler.
Yes, Jesus. He plays both.
He plays both. Udo Kier. Julia Dietz plays the blonde girl from the first movie. So the mom of the Black Lady of Obi, and like she just got old lady makeup on, except for the times when she takes the stuff, and then she's not old,
and then she's younger than her daughter, which is awkward.
Either way, the makeup and the wigs are not great on her, but yeah, she did a great job. She played a great actress. She was just not good. Like the makeup part wasn't good. Kit Dale plays Malcolm, which is like the buff German, and then Vladimir Burlakov plays Sasha, which is the Russian guy.
Dude, yeah.
And Tom Green. I'm sorry, I fucking can't believe I forgot about this. Yeah. Tom Green plays the like cult leader of the Jobists, and Tom Green fucking knocks it out of the park.
Also,
playing an
I
insane
was like,
person.
Tom Green? That guy still does movies?
Apparently, yes.
And then they showed Tom Green, and I was like, wow, Tom Green's aged a lot
He
since I
looks
last
like
saw
a
him.
crazy pasture man.
He does.
Like, not like in a pasture,
does.
but like a pastor. Priest.
Yeah.
Religious zealot.
Yeah, that's
Tom Green
probably why
actually
he
does-
plays a crazy religious zealot in
Tom
this
Green
movie.
does a fantastic job in this movie. So, out of 5...
Chalices.
Oh, no, it's going to be 5 out of 5 lizard Hitlers.
Okay, out of 5 lizard Hitlers.
Out of 5 lizard Hitlers.
I'm gonna give
How many
this-
T-Rexes would you give
I'm
this?
gonna give this lizard Hitler 5 T-Rexes.
I'm going to give this 5 T-Rexes out of 5 lizard Hitlers.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
maximum. It was super good. It was
so fucking
it
good,
played
dude.
on a lot of the jokes from the first one. It was just as funny as the first one, but more absurd. And it really put that more absurd into a place where it's not fan servicey and it's
almost
not
feel that it's
super
better than the first
gross.
one.
Yeah, I think it was better than the first one.
I think that
because
it's
it really
funnier
was funny.
and more action packed.
Yeah.
It's like less like Nazis getting shot and like
Yeah.
a black American
Yeah.
guy making penis jokes and punching
Yeah,
Nazis.
well, they were basically
but
like,
it was
oh,
still
so this first
so
movie
good.
worked? Okay, well then, let's take the same ridiculousness and then let's increase
take that universe, crank it up
by-
to 11.
Let's increase that by 20%, guys.
Yeah.
Bring
Just-
that up 20%.
You just take that universe, crank it to 11.
Yeah.
It was fucking amazing.
Exactly.
It was so
It was
good.
so good.
Oh my god.
All right.
Okay. So, watch this movie.
Watch it.
Tell us what you know.
Tell us what you
like
know.
this video.
Like this
Comment
video.
below. If
Comment
you have
below.
another movie you want us to watch, let us know. We pretty much pay for all of the streaming services because God hates us. And so yeah, there's like
And as you
a
can
little
tell,
bit
we
on every single thing.
voraciously watch things.
Yeah, we consume a lot of background noise, and YouTube has kind of been like dropping the ball. To be honest with you.
sometimes we watch a lot of YouTube. Sometimes we watch a lot of Netflix. Sometimes we watch a lot of Hulu.
Yeah.
Sometimes we watch a lot of cable TV.
CBS
you know.
All Access, but only when Star Trek's available because everything else they make
Yeah,
is
we
awful.
kind of go through periods of time.
Anyway, like this video, comment below, share this with your friends, especially if they punch Nazis,
Yep.
and subscribe to this channel so we can talk about more absurd movies.
Yeah.
We have more movies coming up. Trust me.
Yep.
There's so many.
There's
so many things.
So many.
Oh, so much stuff. Either way, I've been John Norgrove. This has been Wife. This has been Review Jive. We are talking about Overlord.
No, that's the wrong name. Iron Sky.
Iron Sky.
The new
The Coming Race.
The Coming Race.
The Coming Race.
All right.
Iron Sky
Together-
2, Electric Boogaloo, change the sign. And, yeah.
Yeah. Bye.